Did you know that following the leading of the Holy Spirit is easy as a piece of cake? Well, if you didn't know that, I would like to share a really awesome testimony about how the Lord um, began to show me that following His leading was really simple. In 2019, I went over to a friend's house to tell her Happy Mother's Day and to bring her a gift. And she was telling me that she was going to spend her day crafting and with her girls, and that she was going to go get her a piece of berry chantilly cake from Whole Foods. I had never had this cake, and she told me that I would absolutely love this cake and that I should go get some. Well, I didn't go get any that day. That was in 2019. Fast forward a year later, Mother's Day 2020. And, in the middle of COVID, the world is shut down, and everybody has been in pure panic, fear, all kinds of stuff has happened and everything. And by Mother's Day, everything was beginning to open up. Everything was starting to open back up again, but there was, social distancing, masks, all kinds of stuff. Like you couldn't do what you were doing 6 months before. And I remember driving home from church on Mother's Day, and I just had this inclination. I want a piece of berry chantilly cake. And my husband was like, "What? Where's that? What kind of cake is that?" I said, "My friend, she told me last year she was going to go get her a piece of cake. I would like to go get me a piece of cake." I don't know why. I just had this feeling on the inside, and I heard berry chantilly cake in my ears, in my spirit, man. I heard berry chantilly cake, and for whatever reason, I just received the desire to taste it. I hadn't talked to her about that cake since the year before. And so we were almost home, and at the time we were living in Louisiana, and the Whole Foods was on the complete opposite side of town from where we lived. And so it took us 25 minutes to reroute from where we were. We were about 10 minutes away from home. 25 minutes to reroute from where we were to Whole Foods. But we go into that Whole Foods, me and my husband and my 3 boys. Well, no, at the time we only had 2. We went into Whole Foods at that time. And I went back there. I got a piece of berry chantilly cake. I don't even really know all about it, other than the Lord just said, "Go get it." Well, we're going through the checkout, and there's this guy that's working there, and that's working in the checkout line. And the Lord said, "Ask him how he's doing." And I asked him, and I said, "How are you doing?" And he said, "I'm not doing good." At that time, like I said, everybody had been going through a lot. It was a lot of fearful things. People had been laid off. People were having to work from home. It was a lot of chaos going on. And this cashier, he was going through some of that. He was petrified. He didn't have any answers. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have any direction. And right there in the middle of the store, he just starts beginning to tell us, and he has his mask on, and you could see like tears coming from his eyes, and he's scared. And we didn't have masks on, y'all. We were crazy. We just trusted the Lord to keep us healed, and everybody has their personal opinion on that, and I don't want to get into all of that, but we didn't have our masks on, and this man was petrified of what was going to happen because how COVID shut the world down. And we just began to speak life to him. Me and my husband just began to speak life to him right there. And the Lord met that man at that checkout counter. And we asked him if we could pray for him. And he said, "Please pray for me. I need peace." And then we prayed for him. And he said, "That's the first time I felt peace in a really long time." And so I went into Whole Foods to get a piece of berry chantilly cake. The Lord gave me the unction, the remembrance. He brought that thing back to me a year later. Go get a piece of cake. But the piece of cake wasn't for me. It was for that cashier. And so I just want to encourage you that sometimes the leading of the Lord doesn't look like you're going to go to this school or you're going to work at this job. It might just be an unction to go into the store, and in that store is a person. Sometimes it will be a direct leading. This is the school and that's the school. Sometimes you have the inner knowing because he leads you. And it's simple. It's just as easy as going to get a piece of cake. And so be encouraged today. As many as are led by the Spirit of God are the sons of God. That's what Romans chapter 8 tells us. And so I want to encourage you to not be afraid to be led by the Spirit. There are people in your sphere of influence that need to know the Lord, that need to encounter His goodness. So take this opportunity as your encouragement to take that step of faith and share it with others. Be blessed.